James Gunn may have finally done what is simply unfixable. DC with Lanterns Episode 2 showing way more than should be shown for a kids franchise meant to sell backpacks, lunchboxes, and action figures. We're talking about Game of Thrones. We're talking about House of the Dragon, Hard R, X even, if you dare. And they did. But that's not all. It turns out they went super woke with the latest Green Lanterns show, and now it may have been the final thing that made DC go broke with James Gunn. It's a great day. It's a fantastic day, folks. Thank you for coming our way where we continue to keep you ahead of the culture curve. It's the Pro Channel, and we're happy to have you back with us. Click that like button, and let's dive in. James Gunn may not be long for DC, and now it's gone past the point of fixable. It's irredeemable. The DC universe is in a very strange place for superheroes. Marvel, somehow you look good in comparison. Deadline is talking about this. They're so excited because the Lantern premiere on HBO Max was a really good ratings darling, besting DC Studios' predecessor, The Penguin. The problem for Katie Campione, and that most of the media is not willing to say, is that's largely because people came to see a train wreck. And a train wreck they got. And then we thought that was going to be it. Lanterns is toast. It's done for. Folks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because immediately after episode 1, we got episode 2. Chris Gore commenting on James Gunn's latest. Chris Gore says, I'm no prude, but do we really need full frontal male exposure in our DC superhero shows? I know it's HBO, but come on. Was this necessary in Lanterns and Peacemaker Season 2? What a colossal disappointment.
I'm actually going to play devil's advocate here.
Oh, please, no, Lord. Please do not advocate for wieners. I mean, as dudes, there's a certain, but please, no.
It is canon that when a ring chooses a new ring bearer, that it changes size to fit the new Green Lantern, and there's no rule that says the ring has to go on the faker, so it may just be that he has a really good relationship with the Oa Power Band.
That's not what this is.
I said we'd never get through this segment. I said it. Cosmic News.
I'm gonna assume that I'm the only one that actually watched this episode, right?
After this, you think I'm gonna watch it?
Well, I have to watch it. It's my job. It's the job in which you pay me to do. So, but I will say, I was saying on Force of Light, midway through this episode, I was just like, I wonder if Target's hiring.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, Marv, before we read what Cosmic Book News has to say, then how in the world are we in this is a show that's based on a kid's superhero universe. How are they doing this again?
It was the stupidest, most avoidable thing in the world, because the scene in question is Hal Jordan is in a morgue and he opens up the drawer where the body is.
You've got to be kidding.
The body fully splayed out with,
You're telling me this is also a dead wiener.
Oh, it's a dead wiener. Yeah, it is not a living wiener.
I was going to make a rigor mortis joke, but thought better of it.
Shut up, you. All right. Cosmic Book News is reporting on it this way. Lanterns Episode 2 doubles down on the white men framing, because it's not just rigor mortis, Lorne, that is rising again. It's wokeism like to the extreme. In one dinner scene, it says, diner scene. In one diner scene. Is it Zoe?
Yeah, Zoe McCon, who by the way is the grandmother that Jon Stewart has relations with in the first episode.
Whoopee! Is that how the rigor mortis happens? Zoe McCone, okay, says white men, quote, white men have the privilege of being eccentric. Calls her husband a rich cowboy who can do, quote, do whatever the blank he wants, and then asks Jon Stewart, quote, how's your white man? She means Hal Jordan. John laughs, goes along with it, and then questions whether he can even trust Hal. One episode after the veteran Green Lantern was already portrayed as a broken down person marked for death.
Yeah. This was the scene where I almost turned it off. When they actually start talking about white privilege, I was just sitting there like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is Green Lantern. This should be the ultimate 4-quadrant property, right? Like it is a superhero with a magical ring that can create anything he can imagine.
Different kind of ring this show, Marv.
And the show also completely fundamentally misunderstands the concept of the Green Lanterns. Hal Jordan says repeatedly, you have to be fearless to be a Green Lantern. I'm like, no, you do not have to be fearless. You have to have the ability to overcome great fear. There is a huge difference there. And the show is fundamentally misunderstands Green Lantern down to its core. And it is just nothing but in the first 3 minutes of this episode last night, there were 10 F-bombs. And they're doing it just because they have the mentality of 14-year-old boys.
So this is done. DC's done.
There's no way back.
DC's done. Okay.
No way back. You know, like I'm while I was sitting there watching it, a better Green Lantern show popped into my head of what it could be. Because you could have it where there are no Green Lanterns anymore, and Kyle Rayner is the only Kyle Rayner gets the ring after Hal destroys the core, it becomes Parallax. And then you have the redemption of Hal Jordan through Kyle Rayner in a season of TV where he's trying to bring back the core. But obviously we couldn't do something like that.
Instead, we need cadaver wieners, and we need...
The show does something pretty revolutionary, Pro. It decided that... the aliens from outer space is an allegory. It's a very thin allegory for immigrants and the rural white Americans in Nebraska. See, they don't like the aliens coming to Earth, so they're trying to stop them. It's a very subtle message that they try to very original too. No one's ever done that before.
So they basically ripped off South Park's Starvin' Marvin.
Correct.
Well, at least there's that. Sorry, Marv. Sorry to use your name again in that way, but at least there's some people that like it. Slate, which you got to love how Slate brands themselves. It gives a perfect reason for why the headline looks the way it does. Slate, chic and forward-thinking. How lanterns reimagine some of DC's most ridiculous and occasionally sublime comics. The HBO show improves upon its source material in at least one crucial way. Sam Thielman. Goes on to talk about basically just how salacious the series is going to be and why they're excited for that and all that. If this was Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, we know who that's aimed for. This is supposed to be selling lunchboxes and backpacks.
I think I said something when you say anything about this show on X, the defenders of James Gunn leap from the shadows at you like the Morlocks in H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
How many can there be?
I think a lot of them are bots. But
it's like Raylos. They're gone, man.
One guy actually said to me, because I was complaining about the fact that there's so many F-bombs and nudity and all this stuff, and he's like, this show is for us. And I'm like, it shouldn't be.
Who's us?
Guys in their 40s. It doesn't need to be for us. It should be for families. It's Green Lantern.
Now,
and then it does the Marvel thing in this episode too, Pro, where you have a super thin plot and you stretch it for an hour. And then in the last 3 minutes of the episode, you finally give something that might be worth looking at. And then you end it immediately. Because in the final 3 minutes of the episode, he actually puts on the costume, goes into space, and sees Sinestro in jail. And then it immediately ends.
I can tell you how you make all of this make sense.
I'm worried. Go ahead.
First of all, Green Lanterns are space cops, right?
Yes.
You need to get Dennis Franz on this show and retitle it DCEU Green.
Good Lord. I'm
pretty sure right now it's called DCEU Peen.
You win. You've beaten Lord now. You've taken the trophy back. All right. But Marv, there's something that's actually serious here that is so interesting to me. Mm-hmm. And you were putting this out online. I think it deserves more attention. So James Gunn, at least once upon a time, was no fan of the writer for this show. Can you walk us through how extreme. Because I don't believe if somebody said the kind of thing about me that James Gunn said about Mr. Lindelof, I don't think I would ever agree to work for a person like that ever again.
Let me pull that up because I'm actually working on an article about it right now because I think it's so interesting. So in 2012, James Gunn said, Lindelof is close to Satan in my book because of the end of Lost. He's the Uri Geller of storytellers, a total scam artist with no integrity whatsoever, and a liar.
So next to Satan.
Yes.
And he hired him, which is to say, I think there's total desperation.
Oh,
they hired him after he got fired from Star Wars.
Kathleen Kennedy fired him.
From the Rey movie, he comes over and makes this. James Gunn hires a guy that he has said in the past is right next to Satan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's a liar. He basically called him a hack essentially because of the ending of Lost. And the thing about Damon Lindelof also is that he can't help himself, right? Like he went on, he blasted all the fans about, fidelity to source material. This is how are we even still having this conversation? Nobody wants, anyone to be, faithful to the source material. You have to change it and this, that, and the other thing. This show is just utter nonsense. It's everyone's like, God, they're like, how could you hate that? We saw Sinestro. I'm like, yeah, we saw Sinestro for 2 seconds, and he didn't sneer or he didn't look like arrogant at all. He didn't look like he hated Hal Jordan. We saw Hal Jordan in the costume, yeah, and he looked ridiculous in it. And then they were like, oh yeah, but we may have seen Atrocitus. I'm like, if that was Atrocitus, then that is absolutely terrible.
So
I'd rather not have Atrocitus than have that be Atrocitus.
Marv, as the only person who's seen the show, can you tell us, is it worse than Supergirl?
I would sit through Supergirl before sitting through this.
Holy moly.
It's that bad. I mean, it's the greatest sin that it has is that it's boring.
Well, that's what I said about Supergirl.
It's just boring.
That's what I said about Supergirl.
Supergirl at least had some moments where like, oh, hey, like Lobo's here or something like this.
I sat and racked my brain. If you remember when we did the review of Supergirl, I sat and racked my brain and thought, is there anything I enjoyed in the movie? And after a long time of really thinking, I had to come up and say, no, there wasn't one thing that I actually enjoyed about Supergirl. I was only reviewing it based on the idea of like, how much did I hate it?
Like, even in some, like, there are some things that like I hate, but like there'll be like one or two good scenes in it that I'll still go back and watch occasionally. Like, I hate the Flash movie, but I'll go back and I'll watch the action sequence with Michael Keaton's Batman, where they're in Russia and he's like, fighting all the guys, because that's an awesome scene.
Fighting around the wrong thing. Go ahead.
No, it's Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this or Supergirl that I would ever go back and watch willingly ever again. I mean, Hal Jordan literally goes to this town in Nebraska to solve this thing with his ring on like 10% battery, and so his ring runs out of juice. He did not bring the lantern with him, so he sends Jon Stewart on a plane to go back to Coast City to get the lantern and bring it back to him so that he can charge his ring. And then while doing that, get shot.
Lauren, we probably should not make any more jokes about how they charge the ring.
He at one point he is trying. There's these metal detectors to get into the football field, and so he wants to test how the metal detector, because he doesn't think it's a metal detector. So he takes a tire iron and pries the front grill off his car, and then walks through the metal detector with the grill to prove that the metal detector doesn't actually detect metal. He's also still holding the tire iron,
which is definitely totally not metal, right?
Right. Like he didn't have to pry the grill off the car. He could have just walked through with the tire iron.
Oh. Well, that makes about as much sense as the rest of the show, I would say.
It is ludicrously stupid. It is just insufferable. Every line of this show is insufferable. Just written by people who think they're smarter than you. Damon Lindelof fell off of J.J. Abrams at some point and is now infecting all of pop culture with his nonsense. The same as Alex Kurtzman. The same as the two idiot hacks who are ruining Lord of the Rings over at Amazon. They're all J.J. Abrams disciples. They are sin spawn that fell off of the great hack to indulge in their hackery and just menace the population.
hackery and quackery, I say. Lorne, there is one positive out of this story.
Go on.
Kathleen Kennedy. She actually may have fired the right person this time and sent Lindelof to go work on Lanterns instead of making the Rey movie. This could have been the Rey movie. We could have had cadaver wieners in Star Wars.
No, sir. The right person to fire was Kathleen Kennedy, and she could have done that many years earlier.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, and that means you are a true pal of Pro. Thank you so much for watching the entire thing, ladies and gentlemen. And we ask that you consider clicking that like button. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And remember, folks, we've got more content yet on the way. The drive-bys can't handle what we have to say. But we never stop, not for a minute, because we want to win it for you. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.